So it seems like Microsoft cut 9,000 jobs recently. Something that comes as a surprise to a lot of people, but not everyone, myself included. I kind of knew Microsoft was going to make job cuts at some point because it seems to be an ongoing trend with video game companies and corporations. But the biggest thing about Microsoft's latest round of job cuts is that it pretty much has canceled the Perfect Dark remake they're supposed to be getting in 2026. And the reason for that is because the initiative, which was one of the companies working on the development of Perfect Dark Remake, had got shut down, a part of Microsoft's latest round of job cuts. So the initiative was working with Crystal Dynamics to give us the Perfect Dark reboot, and the game was supposed to be released on the Xbox Series X and PC. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know for sure if it was supposed to come out in 2026, but it had been heavily implied that that was the case. And it was supposed to be utilizing the Unreal Engine 5. And Crystal Dynamics is a company that has made like good games in the past. They worked on the Tomb Raider reboot from 2013. And based on the trailer that we saw for the Perfect Dark remake, honestly, it looked quite impressive with the exception of Joanna Dark's, model or character design because she looked more manly than she did in the original version of the game, which came out back in 2000 for the N64. And the plot for that game was really interesting because it was it was futuristic. It pretty much focused on a world ran by mega corporations that conceal dangerous secrets and pretty much, I guess, efforts to try and restore ecological balance. And it was supposed to have like, stealth features in it, high tech gadgetry, all that stuff. And, and yeah, I mean, the game has now been officially canceled. And it's crazy because the initiative, I believe, was a it was an Xbox studio that was founded a couple of years ago, like back in 2017, 2018, I want to say. And it hasn't even been like a full decade since that studio's been around. It's already been shut down. And honestly, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure whether or not this is like a huge loss, depending on who you are and how you look at it. Because Perfect Dark, the remake was supposed to have like a really big budget, and maybe that's one of the reasons why that game got shut down. Because Microsoft probably, they probably didn't want to have a game that would potentially be a massive flop. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of people love Perfect Dark, they love the original game, and pretty much, I don't know. I just feel like they just don't want to take, any big chances or high risks or anything like that because the Perfect Dark reboot was probably one of the biggest projects that they had going for them. And and they probably just, decided to, do whatever they thought was best for the future of the company at the time. And I don't think it's like a massive like loss or anything because it was reported that the latest round of job cuts was going to affect like around 9,000 employees, which is like less than 4% of their global workforce. But at the same time, this is one of the biggest round of layoffs that Microsoft has made since 2023 because I believe that year they made like, you know, they cut like 10,000 jobs or what have you. And and yeah, they have had slashed jobs like earlier this year as well, because back in January they had cut like less than 1% of their workforce, and then they slashed like 6,000 jobs back in May. So it was only like a matter of time before they were going to make more job cuts. We just didn't know like when it was going to come, and like yeah, it just I don't know. I feel like this is a trend that's going to continue within the gaming community and within the gaming world. We're going to hear more announcements like this, and I honestly feel like for the most part they were going in the right direction, trying to like use older IPs to try and attract casuals and make more money and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean. This game had been in development for years now, and I think it entered pre-development back in 2023, and And yeah, I feel like the first time we heard about like the game being a thing or we saw the trailer was like I want to say it was a couple of months ago. So this is why this kind of comes off as a surprise to a lot of people. But but yeah, it's like the project is completely dead. A lot of people are bummed by it. But at the same time, I feel like Perfect Dark would be better off as a movie than having a remake of a game that came out like 25 years ago or what have you, because the original Perfect Dark game came out back in 2000 on the N64, I believe. And people loved it. People thought it was one of the best like first person shooters on the N64. And some people thought that the game was ahead of its time because it became a thing before first person shooters started to like skyrocket in popularity during the 2000s. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is unfortunate news, especially for those who have been fans of the Perfect Dark series, since the early 2000s. Unfortunate news for those who are affiliated with the Xbox studio that shut down, and for those who had been working on the development of Perfect Dark, the reboot altogether. And and yeah, I mean, I feel like the Perfect Dark remake had the potential to be one of the top games of 2026 if it did come out that year. And I'm not exactly sure the exact reasoning as to why um Microsoft decided to kind of pull the plug on this because you go on different websites, it'll pretty much give you like a corporate statement that pretty much talks about them trying to use strategy to try and focus on growth in certain areas of the business. And like it's about increasing like proficiency and all that stuff. That's what corporations, normally say, and that's a statement they give when they decide to like cut, positions and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a real bummer that this happened, and I honestly feel like it would have been interesting if this game came out, but I don't know. Maybe it's for the better. Maybe it's a game that probably would have fell below people's expectations. Um, and then you gotta look at the fact that the price of gaming is constantly going up. So if you have a high budget game that's priced at damn near $100 and then it basically flops on a commercial level, then that's millions of dollars that Microsoft's losing. And just seeing the economy that we're in right now and just knowing how things work, they probably didn't want to take that risk. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. But yeah, it's a damn shame we're not getting this. And I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what to say other than that. But but yeah, I definitely feel like we're going to get more layoffs and more job cuts from Microsoft along with other gaming companies as the year goes on.